So yeah, we're about ready to start here, I think, Greg. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it is 6 p.m., so if everybody is okay, I can go ahead and get started. Does that sound good?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Greg Dixon, and I am currently serving as the chair of the Pacific Northwest section of the AES. I'm very pleased to be here tonight, at least tonight here in Seattle, with Sylvia Massy once more, sharing with us a presentation called The Mind Blowing Microphone Museum Part 2. From my recollection, I think this is the third meeting that we've had the opportunity to do with Sylvia Massy. So we're incredibly honored to have the chance to have Sylvia present with us once more. So thanks so much. And I wanted to also invite you all to our meeting next month. Next month, we will be honored to have guest speaker J.J. Johnston, who's a research scientist in audio and an expert in all things psychoacoustic. And J.J. is going to be talking about the special topic of audio masking. Not masking related to facial covering, but masking related to psychoacoustics. And that meeting is going to take place Tuesday, January 25th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. So if you are outside of the Seattle area and you want to join us once more, please do. Again, the time for that meeting next month is going to be Tuesday, January 25th at 6 p.m. on Zoom. At this point in time, I'd like to talk about a few technical considerations as we start the meeting. For the first item of business, I'd like to ask everybody to please update your name to your real name on Zoom if you haven't already. We'd appreciate you using your real name at our meeting. In addition, please remain muted, and that's with your microphone as well as video while the presentation is taking place. So while Sylvia presents, we're all going to mute our mics and our videos. If you have questions for our presenter, please post those questions into the chat. We have two moderators with us this evening that will be helping address questions. Chris Johnson will be helping in Sylvia's studio, and then online we have Bill Gibson, who will be helping monitor the chat as we proceed, and Bill will be helping relay questions to Chris and Sylvia throughout the presentation. So again, please remember to mute your mic and your video while Sylvia is presenting. And if you have questions for our presenter, please post those in the chat. In addition, after our meeting, after the presentation has concluded, we like to socialize and meet one another. And so if you want to, unmute your mic and unmute your camera and talk with members, what we're going to do is after the presentation has concluded, we're going to break people apart into random breakout rooms where you're going to spend some time just getting to know people that are here at the meeting. And I can't remember exactly how many people will be in the room, but it's an amount that is good to accommodate discussion. So if you want to talk to fellow audio engineers or other participants today, please stick around and join us for that breakout session. I have another announcement, and that is that there is a new audio engineering certificate program that just started up here in the Seattle area that we wanted to promote. And it's taking place out of North Seattle College. And as I mentioned, this is a new certificate for audio engineering. This is an initiative that's started by a couple groups of people. There's gear fanatics as well as women and audio. So one of the really cool things about this program is that they have a number of instructors and teachers that come from a really diverse range. So lots of women instructors, women in audio engineering. We're all about that. So we wanted to promote this tonight and let you know about it. I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the chat so that you all have it. So this is going out to everybody in the meeting. So have a look at that link if you're interested. Maybe you're an engineer here in the area and you're looking at potentially trying to find a place where you can get a certificate. Have a look at this. And we'd also like to thank our committee member, Angie Dane, who is a part of this initiative. So congratulations, Angie, on launching this. We look forward to learning more about it in the future. At this point in time, I'd like to turn the time over to my friend and committee member, Dan Mortensen. Dan is going to talk to us a little bit about an initiative that he started, I think almost 2 years ago, called Tea Time Topics. So I'm going to turn the time over to Dan, and Dan will help lead the way to Sylvia's presentation, which will be here soon. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Greg. Yeah, Tea Time Topics is something I started in May of 2020 because I wasn't doing any live sound gigs, which is what I do, and wanted to not get out of the habit of working on Saturdays, which is a normal part of the work week for live sound people. So the Tea Time Topics has almost nothing to do with live sound, although that's been a subject periodically, and it's some pretty low-key presentations by the participants about things that they are passionate about and want to share with the group. And there's some pretty smart and fun people. And I didn't let them know beforehand, but I wonder if a couple people who participate would want to say something about why it's a cool thing. Jess Berg, start with you and then go to Vebev to say why that's a good thing. And we didn't work this out, so I hope you can jump in here. Jess?
Great. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Hi.
There you are. Hi.
Okay. Cool. Hi. Yeah. So Tea Time Topics started, in the midst of who knows what's going on in the world. And it's a group of people that have come together from all over the world to just share what we're passionate about related to audio. And it's been like really fascinating topics. And because folks are just sharing what they're passionate about, it really comes from the heart. So thanks, Dan, and everyone else who's participated. Look forward to joining up again soon. So
thanks. And Jess is in Minnesota now and talked about her tour with NRG, NP, New Power Generation.
Yep, NPG and
NPG.
Fill in Europe tour as production manager and monitor engineer.
Yeah, great. Thanks. And Vebev, are you able to talk? Vebev is in India.
Sure, Dan.
Great.
Hey guys, I hope you can hear me okay.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I actually joined the Tea Time Topics group, I think right after the last meeting by Sylvia Massy. And yeah, it's been how I can't say how amazing it has been to talk to all you experienced engineers. And I'm just a kid from India, just who got into audio. And I don't have a lot of people to talk to here, honestly. So yeah, it's been a regular it's been I'm not sure how to say that, but it's been a regular treat for me. And talking to all those people and hearing all these experiences that I can only imagine.
And you've contributed a bunch. You talked to us, you showed us your experience with the Dolby Atmos mixing system. And last weekend he brought up, is it called spectral editing?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a feature in Isotope RX that I just discovered,
Yeah,
messing around.
And a couple of our people had actually done projects in it. And I think that's what we're talking about this next Saturday. So if you're interested, send me a private message here with your email, and we'll get you. I'll send you the link to it. It's Saturday afternoons at 3:30 Seattle time, Pacific Standard Time. And for Vebev, that's like 3 in the morning or something. And for Gordon in Scotland, who's a regular attendee, that's about 9:30 or 11:30 at night or something. So we have a good time. So anyway, that's Tea Time Topics. And thank you, Vebev and Jess. Now I'm going to introduce Bill Gibson, who is on our committee and will be moderating this part of the chat, moderating the chat for this. So he'll explain that to you. Bill is a committee member. He's in Arizona right now and is working on Meta Alliance, which is metaalliance.com. And he can explain that later if you want. He's written a ton of books and edited a ton of books. And he teaches at CRAS, which is the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, and at Berklee School of Music. And it's been a gas knowing him and still knowing him. And here's Bill.
All right. Hey, you guys, I get the privilege of introducing Sylvia and Sylvia Massy and Chris Johnson. Chris is Sylvia's manager and co-author of her book, Recording Unhinged, and they are just extra special, cool people. I met Sylvia at a meeting for the National Advisory Committee for the PNE, and I was sitting next to Sylvia, and Leslie Ann Jones and Zoe Thrall was there. So all of you women coming into the business should be encouraged by that, because it's possible. You know, I know that there are issues, but more and more I hope there aren't. So Sylvia, as you know, I could go on and on about her, which I don't want to, because I know there's always the thing, we'll make that guy shut up so that we can hear from Sylvia. But she's been recording for a long time. She worked with on a lot of the Rick Rubin stuff. She's recorded Tool, System of a Down. I mean, the list is really, really long. Johnny Cash, Prince, worked with Prince a lot. REM, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and on and on. And she became an engineer in her own right, I think because of her willingness to draw outside the lines. Sylvia is an excellent artist, so she knows where the lines are, but she's not afraid to draw to work outside of them. I'm going to share my screen here and show you a couple of things. Hey. Are you guys going to let me share the screen? I think somebody took that away from me. I'm so disappointed. Yeah.
I have a couple paintings in progress. I'll show you.
Well, anyway, yeah, I met her.
I fixed that for you. Sorry about that.
No, thanks, man. Oh, I won't hold it against you. It's all good. So there's Sylvia. And she is... when I met her, it was like, geez, I really like Sylvia Massy. She's just very bright and smart and charismatic. And I've had an opportunity to walk around AES or NAMM conventions with her, and she's a bug light, man. You can't get anywhere without people running up and talking to Sylvia. And she just does awesome work, and she's totally willing to share everything that she's done. Her book, which I was proudly part of putting together. I met her at a taping of Pensado's place, and she showed me her artwork and what she had prepared for the book. And she had been kind of given the runaround by a publisher that didn't have a lot of money. And I was working for Hal Leonard at the time, developing authors and looking for people like Sylvia. And it's like, we couldn't have signed her fast enough. It's like, here's some money, let's do that. And it's really cool. If you haven't seen her book, what she and Chris have done together is they've created a classic. I think that this book will go on for a long time. Right now they're working on a classic microphone book because they own all the coolest mics on the planet, and some that are so cool that nobody else has any of them. So that's cool. But this is some of the stuff from Sylvia's book, and I'm just going to show a few things. This is Sylvia Massy here. Take the band out on a cliff in a snowstorm and see how they play. There's another Sylvia Massy special. Let's play the organ, but let's light the organ on fire and see what that inspires. She's worked with Prince a lot. She has this artistic talent for just putting things in picture form. She draws these. Sylvia Massy draws all of these things. And these are all techniques for recording a singer. And there's a real picture in the book of a guy taped to a wall. So I think she's probably done all of these. And her explanations of signal chain, the devolution of the singer, which I think is a classic from upright, bar singer to current
Lee Bennett.
Neanderthal singer. She likes to do stuff like that, turn a phone into a mic, different techniques. And she just is awesome. So I could go on, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hand it over to Sylvia Massy and Chris Johnson, who I love with all my heart. Take it away, guys.
Wow. Thanks so
Oh my gosh,
much, Bill.
We love you.
Yeah, Bill, we love you.
Awesome.
Oh.
And we're so glad to be here again. This time, Chris is part of the presentation because honestly, there would be no museum without Chris. So I'm going to let him kind of tell that story. You want to take it away?
I'll tell that story I'll tell that story for a quick minute.
Okay.
So this all started with that book that Bill Gibson was talking about, Recording Unhinged. We wrote that book, and then it did very well, and then we got a contract to write another book about microphones. And then we heard from our good friend Dan Alexander, and Dan told us when he found out we were going to write a book about this, it can't be done. Oh, is that backwards?
Is that backwards? Is that right?
They're all muted.
No, it
Anyway.
looks good.
No, it's
Oh,
fine.
it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, and so Dan Alexander told us it can't be done. Many people have died trying to write a book about all the microphones. It's too much work. You'll die. Yeah. And then, so we started writing the book, and it turned out that he wasn't all that wrong. It's a very difficult task. And as part of writing the book, I sent Sylvia all around the world looking at microphones, and then she ultimately ran into this guy, Bob Paquette. And Bob Paquette owned the world's largest microphone collection at the time. And then more specifically, he was the world's greatest microphone collector. This was a guy who dedicated over 50 years of his life into assembling the authoritative collection of microphones, American microphones. And then he passed away about a year after Sylvia met him and traveled. And we were friends with the family. They asked for our help in selling the museum. And to make a long story short, I went out there to talk with them. And once I saw this thing, I determined that we were going to buy this.
Had to buy it.
Yeah, we had that. We just had
Somehow.
to have this. How else could we finish the book unless we just had all the microphones?
See what you did, Bill?
Thanks, Bill. Yeah.
Sorry.
And so this was out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where Bob and his family lived. And then I went out and arranged to empty the whole office, pack it all up into boxes. I loaded it into trucks and drove it all the way across country in a winter snowstorm. And then finally, when I got back here, we were still building the studio that we're sitting in now. And so this was the condition of it. And those shelves back there are our current microphone shrine. And you can see Sylvia's.
Look at it.
Yeah, Luke Trotter. Yeah, and she'll why don't you walk over there and show
All
them
right,
that
all right.
thing. So
Yeah.
let's cut over to that.
Great.
And then Sylvia's walking over right now, and this is she can give a little talk about all this.
All right. Well, we're trying to improve our presentation for microphones. So now we have the microphone museum cam. And I can actually pick this up and move it to show you things. It doesn't go very far, so we won't go very far with it. But I can actually show you some of the historic mics, like all these Harry Olson prototypes. And oh my God, there's so much. There's so many mics here. And then in the cases all along the bottom, there's more mics. Lots of little mics there. Oh, well, anyway, yeah, we're going to show you some of them, some of the best ones.
All right, well, let's get back to this then. So anyway, that's where Sylvia was just standing right in front of that microphone shrine. And there she is. That's how ultimately it looks. That's how it looked last year, and we've updated it a little bit since then. And so that's kind of very quickly how this all started for us. We wrote a successful book. We got a contract to write another book. We went crazy for microphones. We bought all of them. And here we are today. And so let me give a little quick history of the microphone, and I'll blow right through this for everybody. You know, it all started with Alexander Graham Bell, more or less. And this is back in the 1800s, the late 1800s is when he essentially figured out how to capture sound with a transmitter like this. This is Bell's transmitter. And this is a fascinating piece of equipment in that it has a little cup with lead acid in it. And that's how the sound is translated into electricity. But we'll save that for a different discussion. Just know that Alexander Graham Bell really was the father of all this. And then he went on to invent this crazy device, which is one of the first telephones. That's actually what it looked like. But all that, once the microphone was developed or invented, it very quickly turned out that carbon was the way you wanted to architect your microphones. And this became the era of the carbons. And this started with David Edward Hughes, who figured out that basically if you shout at a burnt stick while running a current through it, it'll vary the current of electricity flowing through that burnt stick. And that went on and turned into, there's the first kind of manifestation of that, the Blake transmitter.
Blake transmitter, right.
And that quickly moved on until into the carbon button, and that became popularized as the Western Electric number 1B, which is the first real carbon button transmitter. And we have those microphones here, and we have all the prototypes for them as well. And so for anyone who's not familiar with how this microphone works, I actually have one right
show
here.
us the,
and I can show you.
You have to change the.
Oh yeah, well I
change it.
can't. Full screen for me.
There you go. What? Yeah, there you go.
So basically, you can see this little thin piece of metal. This is aluminum, and then I'll rattle it. It's my microphone, and you can hear that's nice hard metal. And this is the mechanism here for this carbon button microphone, and this thin metal membrane would get stretched inside of this.
Here, let me see if I can make this camera work.
That's fine. And then,
no? Okay.
And then this device right here is a carbon button, and there's little carbon granules inside of there. And this would be held very tightly against this tightly stretched. Oh, Bill Gibson texted me that he doesn't think we're in our lavaliers.
What? Check.
Ah, thanks, Bill.
Huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Are we good?
Sylvia was on for a second there. I'm not sure that
Am I on?
Chris
Huh?
is.
Check. Let's check our lavaliers.
It just sounds a little roomy.
It sounds a little roomy.
Yeah, more than it did when we.
You're
Yeah.
right. That's it. I know what it is. Okay, now that should be better.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
that-
you. How's
that was-
Chris?
Does anybody know a sound engineer?
Chris is quiet.
Oh, I'm quiet.
Oh, you got no sound?
Oh no, he's got his lavaliers on. It's on. He just was
It's
a little.
quiet.
Oh, okay.
You hear me crinkling here?
Yep. We
Hear
got
that,
you.
but not
That's
your
awesome.
voice.
Okay. Well, I'll
There you
speak louder. But anyway, so this membrane is stretched tight. This carbon button is pressed right against it. When you speak, this vibrates. Those vibrations are captured by the carbon button as electricity passes through it.
Yes,
And then you've got a microphone.
I want to talk about the carbon microphones for a
do?
second. Yes, because it's really exciting what happened to the technology. You know, David Edward Hughes started. Can I show you something?
Yeah, you
give
can.
us can we have that camera?
Which one?
It's too small. The one, go ahead and transition into it.
Okay.
Great. All right. So the really exciting thing about the carbons is that, David Edward Hughes started with the stick, basically a burnt stick, but the big improvement in carbon came when it was granulated into a fine powder. And this was a very early version of carbon button that was developed, I think, around the same time as the button was invented. This was actually invented by George Neumann, this style of microphone. It's a carbon, and it was in the Reese laboratory. So it's actually a Reese microphone, but I'm going to give you a closer look at it here. Can you see that? It's a Reese, and what it is, it's a marble block. And there's a very fine layer of carbon on one side of it. And then we have these electrodes to charge the particles. Would you say that's an explanation for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the first Neumann, right? It's a carbon. And
That's a famous microphone right there.
it is.
Did you know that mic was used by this guy?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. There's Stalin.
There's Stalin with that exact same
Right.
microphone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then there were improvements to that too. They made a different type. This was actually manufactured by Marconi in London. And again, marble body, thin layer of carbon. And these were also used by the Europeans of the day, would be the leaders. Anyway, that I just thought I'd
Okay.
talk about that, since that
Hey,
this
show-
is the first Neumann. I think that's fascinating.
Show them that W mass
Oh, yeah.
carbon button. as
Here we
well.
go. And then this was the carbon button. And you can see here, this is the type of microphone that was really popular in the 20s. And that's where that little carbon button that Chris was talking about is used, right in the center of that. And there is a thin little film, that little metallic film you can see there too. Anyway, that's the carbons.
See that used by Gloria Swanson back in the day. She's got the
Right.
fabulous double carbon. Well, let's move right along here.
All right.
Oh, where are we? Oh, I think we're right here.
Okay.
We're looking at Stalin
Right.
thundering into his Neumann
Well, it's a Reese
Reese
carbon.
carbon.
Right. Mhm.
And that kind of takes us past the carbons. This is where it gets interesting for us microphone nerds, and that's the condenser microphones. And so the condenser microphone started with this guy, E.C. Wente, in the 19 teens, really. By 1922, 23, he had come out with the condenser microphone. And so in the 1920s in the US, Calvin Coolidge was president. If you notice in this picture, to Calvin's left is an old carbon microphone, and to the right, you see what is actually the first Western Electric condenser microphone.
That's right.
We have we actually have that mic in
We
the
have that
collection
mic.
here.
Yeah. Crazy.
That one right there. And it looks, from a distance, you might think, oh, that's a carbon with a weird bass, but it's actually a condenser microphone. And inside that base is mysterious electronics that make.
Should I grab it?
Let's keep going, because we're going
Okay.
to take apart some mics
All
in a
right.
minute.
Oh, look
And
there.
s-
Look at this one. Like there's the Marconi.
Yeah, we were just talking
We were
about that
just
Marconi,
talking
and
about
then
that Marconi. You
and
can
then
see.
we see Winston Churchill. That would have been in the 40s
Look at that.
or the
There it is.
30s, and
That's the Marconi.
yeah, and that's the mic that Sylvia was had pulled out there. But what we were really thinking of, that's a carbon mic, but at the same time as those carbon mics came out, these condensers, or the carbon mics were already out, these condensers were coming out. And so there's a Western Electric, I think that's a 7A microphone,
Mhm.
and that's
Yeah.
shaped like a tombstone. It's a very distinctive design of that old mic. And then we'll also see some pictures like this of Amelia Earhart,
Yeah.
which is just, that's just such a beautiful mic there. When we have that in the collection, why don't you want to drag that one over?
Yeah, I'll drag it over.
We'll have Sylvia drag
You
that
can
mic
keep
over.
talking while I'm dragging this.
Okay, I'll talk while she drags. A big heavy mic on a big heavy stand, so
I'm gonna have to roll it.
I'm gonna have to roll it over.
Yeah, what else you got over there to talk about?
I don't know, more
Johnson?
microphones probably.
Mhm.
Oh, there's Hitler with his CMV3. We're gonna have a look at that one too. Get Sylvia back here with her giant vintage
This is RCA too, isn't it?
condenser microphones. That is an
What is it?
RCA 4082.
A 4082,
Pretty
seriously?
sure.
Oh, can you see that in the, look at that. Why don't
Yeah.
you bring the camera over here and take a look at that?
Yeah, check that out. Here you go. That's,
Oh, it
that's
doesn't go. Okay,
Try that one.
I'll grab this.
You gonna get that?
I think so. Look at that.
All right, there you are. Oh
my.
boy.
Is that all right? There. Oh, man, you got my boobs.
You're getting as much cleavage as you are a microphone, but that's
Sorry
probably
about that.
a little dark
There
there
it
for that
is.
one. But we'll move right along because we're gonna take
Okay.
some of these apart next.
All right. Yeah,
I want to,
okay.
if you'll let me.
I want to see what the model number of this was. What did you say it was?
4082.
It's a freaking 4082.
All right. And then there's Hitler with a Telefunken CMV3 microphone, which we have here as well. And then this photo was something that I found just in the past week. And this is from MGM Studios in Los Angeles, Hollywood, out in 1932. And it's a very, very early condenser microphone. That one is so rare that it's difficult to find information about it. And we are corresponding with people now who know a bit more. And that's a mic. Notice the size of that thing. It's just a giant canister. And I'll switch cameras and you can see we have that exact mic right here, right now. And I would like to answer the question. People ask, what is inside those
Yeah,
cans?
what is inside it?
And let's find out right now. And
I
just-
have not seen the inside of this.
well, you run that Zoom rig and I'll figure
All
this
right,
out
I'll
over here.
try.
So let's just take this thing apart. I'm going to undo
Oh,
these
boy.
big screws.
All right.
Make sure. Why don't you
Let me
drive the
see.
camera
I'll
there?
drive the camera here. Oh,
I already know what's inside of this.
you do?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but you've seen it. right?
You haven't seen this. All right, I got the whole
Okay,
thing.
you do?
Oh.
There it is.
Okay. So leave it right there.
Oh, boy. Big reveal.
So
Holy
the inside
cow.
inside of this is empty, and this
Careful, careful, careful.
is really fragile. And so this is a tube amplifier. Can you get in there and see that thing? Man, what does that smell like to you?
Money.
It smells like vintage money. And so it's interesting. This one was mounted on a foam plate, kind of as a suspension. And over the years, the foam has just straight up worn
Why
away.
don't we just leave that
Yeah,
for
we're
now?
gonna leave that right
We're
here.
just gonna leave that.
So what this amplifier features is you can see is two very old tubes. I can't see the model number from here. And then it looks like a custom transformer and some
Those look like
capacitors.
healthy tubes too, actually. That's,
There's a very, very strong chance that this mic would plug right in and work
yeah,
today.
okay.
And so we'll get to that someday.
Someday we will.
But while we have these mics out, did you want to show any other mics?
Let's see. Oh,
I'll get back to this.
what do we have going on here? Yeah. Oh, did you show him that picture?
Yeah, that's up right now.
Okay, great. All right. So, well, that's some condensers for you. That's a very early condenser, but the condenser of the era that was big news was the Germans and George Neumann, who started his own company at this point and stopped working for Reese, and he made the CMV3. We talked about that for a moment.
Yeah, we looked at that. We have a picture of here's a picture of Hitler. with
Yeah.
That kind of mo-
This mic is still, it's a
It-
tube mic. It's still a great mic today. It's a bit noisy, but holy cow.
Hey,
That-
Sylvia and Chris,
Yes.
we do have a question on how much that mic weighed that you just took apart. How much?
That's probably
know?
about 15 pounds.
Oh, geez, that's a hunk of mic. I'm just,
Yeah,
I,
these are
I love what you're doing. This is awesome.
Yeah, is it good? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
It's a
It's awesome.
big, heavy mic, and one of the extraordinary things is the metal casing might be like industrial sewer pipe or something. It's a metal pipe.
That's cool. What?
And
How
then
many of these have you gotten to work right out of the box?
we've tried very few of them. If you can
Yeah.
believe it, the collection is so large that just getting it in the door and more or less organized has been the last 2 years.
And you
right
guys,
now,
you guys also have like the largest collection of manufacturer data on these mics too, right?
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, we have
The
all of,
library.
we have Bob's entire library,
Mm.
which
It's
is
amazing.
irreplaceable.
Okay. Well, I'll butt out now. Good job.
Good talking
All
about
right.
So, do
So
we have any other
condensers.
Let's talk about that other little LTEC there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it started with some pretty large tubes. But, and I'll just turn this camera around.
You want to show it on that one?
I can show it on this one, I guess. All right. Can you see that? Where am I? Oh,
You're, let's just go right here.
look at this.
There you go.
All right. So this is an Altec. The body is a 165, and
Yeah, I'll get
the
you in there.
capsule here is a 21BR, I believe. Anyway, it's fascinating to take a close look at these Altecs because the technology had improved and the tubes had been miniaturized to the point where a little lipstick mic like this would also still be a tube mic. And you can see,
You hold
can't
that
see it really.
very steady.
Oh God, okay.
Try
There it
that one.
is. All right, right? Here, I'll try this other one. I'll try the other. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Little Altec. Mhm.
And so this would have replaced that giant tube we were looking at a minute ago.
Yeah.
This is where the technology.
All the
has gone.
canisters just got smaller and smaller. And then right after this technology in the 60s, it would have been Neumann introducing phantom power, 48 volts. So no need for tube power anymore.
Yeah, and then it went to solid state.
And then it went to solid state. Yeah, condensers. We love condensers.
Who doesn't love condensers?
You know, condensers are great, but if you're like, you know, out in the field or something like, you know, you have to have power to make a condenser work. In general, that's how it was in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So there were other developments, different microphone technologies that didn't require you to have
Such as
external power.
the dynamics. Shall we talk about dynamic mics?
Let's talk about dynamics.
Well, it all started with this guy, Captain Round. And
Oh, I want to show them the round
well,
sights.
we have a Captain Round sights.
You want to show the King's mic, and then I'll
Yeah, I'll
this
share the
ready?
King's mic. So Captain Round is British, was British, and
worked at
he was
Marconi.
working on this, yeah, Marconi around the 19 teens. And he was working on a new type of microphone, and he came up with a dynamic microphone. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But this is what a picture of the first dynamic microphone looked like. And we actually have this microphone in the museum, so we will show it in a
I
minute.
have it ready to go.
Oh, you do?
to see
All right,
it,
well, let's go over to her. And then
Yeah,
boom, there it is on the
there it
shelf
is
in
on the
museum.
shelf in the.
So the extraordinary thing about that microphone is the weight of it. And it weighs, is that 42 pounds, I think? It's very heavy. It's a
Giant magnet.
giant magnet basically wrapped in wire. And that's the unique thing about the dynamic microphone architecture is with a condenser mic, you have to apply power to make it work. Same thing with the carbon mic. With a dynamic mic, it has a strong permanent magnet built into it, and that gives it the polarity it needs, so it doesn't require outside power to operate. And so Sylvia herself, she's had the luxury, not only does she own this mic, but she's been to the secret BBC archive in Maida Vale, England, and looked at the original King's mic, and there's a picture of her opening up the case for it. In the case of these Royal King's mics, they sit in a filigree silver case, so you don't see the microphone so much. So those are extraordinary mics.
And that was the first dynamic.
Yeah, that was the first dynamic, and
Yeah.
then invented, and then quickly. Oh, there we have King George V, I think.
Yeah, with that same mic.
It's that same microphone, and it's in a kind of a cloth box for a wind noise. Probably the first windsock, really.
Yeah, windsock.
But what happened was Western Electric took that and came out with the first commercial dynamic mic. And this mic was a big hit. This is the classic 618 microphone. And here we see President FDR, which would have been the late 30s, early 40s, with a couple of these mics. And then it goes on and on, you know, through, you look at this photo of Harry Truman in the 50s, you know, and it's 20 something years later, and the whole press corps mic kit is all still 618s. So
This is a workhorse mic for years and years. Amazing mic.
and that's the 618 right there. That's how it looked in the desk stand. And we have one here on a stand.
And I think we could listen to it even.
Yeah, let's test it out.
You want to try it?
Let's get over to that.
All right.
So Sylvia's got one on a stand right here. This 618.
And we can listen to it here. Let me make sure it's plugged in. All right. We have that. I'm going to turn down our lavaliers and we're going to listen to this mic. It's a original 618 Western Electric. Okay, I'm turning down our line. Here's the mic. Check. Check. Can you hear that? Is it working, Bill? Okay, Greg, anyone can, is that working?
Yeah, it's working fine. It's a little hot maybe, but
A
it
little
sounds
hot,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, the thing is like, what is the date on this? This is like 1933 or 4 or something?
Yeah, that came out in 32, I believe.
And I plug it in and it works. And right, you know, it's a testament to how well these things are made and how they'll continue to serve.
You know, bit of trivia there, Bill Gibson. You said, "Oh, hot mic, hot mic." That's actually a dynamic mics, and dynamic mics were never hot. But it turns out that carbon mics were hot, and the reason for it is that, you know, there's this carbon button, and people would talk right into it, and that carbon would pick up the humidity from their breath, and it would degrade the signal. And the solution for that was to put the mic in the oven and bake it for a while.
Is that what that is?
And it would dry out the microphone. And so literally studios started doing this because these carbon mics are made of steel. And so apparently a DJ would come in and if it was done right, they'd pull the mic out of the oven and he would have a hot mic. A hot mic.
Really?
True.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I just made that up, I'm a pretty good storyteller. No, that's
good story.
that's a fact. That's
Oh,
how
wow. Oh, we do have another dynamic mic to show.
we do. Oh,
Yeah.
and that's the
Oh, yeah, that means that
AKG.
it's
Oh,
an
hang on a
AKG.
second. Let's see. So that's an AKG D20.
D25. D25.
D25.
D25.
This
You
poor
gotta
microphone.
give him a shot of this thing.
This poor microphone has been.
Oh, you gotta turn it.
Oh, here we go.
There you
This poor mic was rescued from the dump.
go. This was in the dump. Someone sent it to the museum
Someone
They
sent
found
it to it.
in the dump. Look
Yeah,
at,
Yeah, and
this is a Beatles mic, for God's
it was
sakes.
a garbage. And they sent it to the right place because we are a no-kill microphone shelter, and we will accept any microphone that comes in. So if you have any old mics that wet the floor, bring them here. We'll take them in.
Oh, but
would you like to try that mic?
let's try it. Let's try this mic. All right. We can go back to our camera now.
All
All
right.
right, here we go. Oh, wow, I need a turnaround. How about that? Hang on.
Well, you're
How
not
did
plugging
that
in
happen?
here. No, you're
Oh,
in the wrong
no,
one.
in the wrong one. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to turn down our lavaliers and we're going to see if this old thing works. God, it's a wreck. Okay, let's see.
Check. We got any signal coming? Yeah,
Yep.
we do have signal. What does it sound like? Sound like crap?
It sounds a little thin.
It's a little thin. So it's
Yeah,
not
pretty thin.
doing the AKG D25 thing.
No.
It does have some problems, but heck, I mean, this one was in the frickin' at the dump. This was in the dump, and it still works.
It's a rescue mic.
This is a rescue mic. It's okay. I'm going to use this mic. We're going to fix it.
I like that idea. Cool. So there are lots and lots of dynamic mics. Later on, these classics came out, and you'll see these all through history in the 40s and the 50s. There's Billie Holiday singing into what kind of mic is that, Sylvia?
That is a 55.
The classic 55.
The classic Shure 55.
Sure is. And what do we have here? Those look like electro voices.
That's a EV 666.
Oh.
Yeah,
How about this guy?
that is a Sennheiser 421.
She's like Rain Man with microphones.
Hi.
All right, what else we got? Hey, how about ribbons?
All right, let's talk about ribbons.
What do you want to talk about?
All right.
Oh, well, everybody might know the ribbons because these have been so popularized. And this is really, these ribbons came out in the golden era of radio, you know, in the 30s and 40s. And there's Glenn Miller, some adoring fans. And he is playing into a big RCA 44 microphone. And there's former future President Ronald Reagan. He's second to the left there, talking into a 44 with some type of theater group. There's Betty Davis with yet another 44. So these mics are all over. Hey, Sylvia, do you want to? Oh, there's Major Bose. He was a famous radio host in the 40s.
Yeah.
And then these ribbon microphones were largely developed by this fellow. His name is Harry Olson. And he's credited with developing these. And he worked for the RCA Corporation. And we have some of the Harry Olson prototype mics here. We have the
Oh, I gotta
prototypes
show.
for the 44s.
All right, let me just show what
And
the
Sylvia's
prototypes are.
really excited about these. so
I
she's
am
gonna
very,
walk
very
on over.
excited. All right. Hello. Okay, so the Harry Olson prototypes came with a museum, and these are unbelievable because we're all familiar, I think, I'm assuming, but we're all familiar with this shape. And I'll just pull this mic out here so we can take a closer look. This shape, this is the 44, right? The really classic microphone shape, the RCA 44. But here at the museum, we in fact have the very first 44, the prototype for that design, that iconic design. Here is the prototype to that. This was made by Harry Olson at RCA, and it even has a plaque on it somewhere about that. But this actually is a working ribbon mic.
Let's try it.
I don't know if I want to try that. Do we want to try this one?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Come on, bring it around. You
Okay.
guys want to hear that mic, don't you?
Okay.
Prototype for the
Yes.
44, the actual real
Okay.
handmade by Harry Olson prototype.
Handmade, geez. Okay. We'll be very careful.
Yeah, you can't get those at Walmart anymore.
No. Okay. And now, of course, like when we're working with ribbon mics, we don't want to have any phantom power. Just to show you the signal path here, I'm using over behind Chris, over in the corner, is a Focusrite ISA 1. And so that's what we're using for our microphone preamplifier. And I'm just going to make sure that
She's shutting off the phantom
Yeah,
power.
we
'cause
don't
she
want
doesn't
phantom
wanna
power.
Blow up the ribbon.
don't want to hurt the ribbons.
So there's an actual metallic ribbon in those ribbon microphones. And if phantom power is present, you risk blowing that ribbon out of the microphone.
Very delicate.
Very delicate piece of equipment.
Okay.
And a modern ribbon microphone would have circuitry that would protect against that, so you couldn't break it. But for these old vintage originals, especially the prototypes,
Okay.
there's just no safety on them.
So let me move this camera.
You wanna
You
talk
want
to
to try
that?
that? Try it.
Where are you?
Where am I here? Oh God, my boobs again.
Got a lot of cleavage going there.
Mm.
Get Get on the
7.
microphone instead, please.
Okay. Can you see this? Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see it. Okay. I'm going to talk into it and
Here,
I have to change this right here. So I'm going to turn down our lavaliers.
I'm going to help you.
Okay. Turn down the lavaliers and turn up this test mic and hopefully. Check, check, check. Oh, we have signal. Check, check, check. Well, do you have?
It sounds
Wow,
awesome.
close up.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, it sounds great. Very warm.
Oh, nice and rich ribbon. Oh, sorry.
Say something funny.
I don't have anything to say funny. Just to get that camera away from me. Get ready. Okay. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty.
There is other things to say about these Harry Olson prototypes. There was several. There's several that are in this collection, in the Paquette collection. And I'm going to move this. I'm going to put this back.
Here, I'll take it.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay, because I
going.
want to try
I
want to try listening to another Harry Olson prototype that I haven't listened to before. And so I'm a little freaked out about it, but okay. So here, I just want to show you this is an RCA 77. This is actually the 77B, but you recognize this iconic, the pill shape again. Well, there was another prototype that took that shape here. So it looks like this would be similar to a 77, but in fact, the architecture of this mic is that it is end address ribbon. So, and this is the prototype for what became, and I'll just bring it out here, the BK5. All right, this is the actual prototype to the BK5. And you know, I haven't tried it, but this prototype also is cabled. And so I'm going to see if we can get some signal.
Try it.
Okay. Okay, let's just try it. How was our time anyway? Are we doing all right?
It's like an hour-ish into it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to plug this in. We're just going to listen to this quick. See if it works. All right.
Plugged it in.
Plugged it in. I'm going to turn down the labs.
Not hearing it. It looks good though.
Not hearing it. That one is not working.
That's a dead mic.
That is a dead mic, and that's nothing I did because we.
IWLW.
What did he do? Oh, okay. Here's another ribbon. This one is another one. I haven't tried it yet, and this one is, you know, everybody had their ribbons for a while. This is a company called Crosby. Crosley. Thank you. Crosley also made cars, and they made radios. And he had the owner had his own radio station, so he made his own line of microphones. In fact, this is a Crosley, and it also is cabled. And there, I don't know, maybe it'll work. Let's try this one. Okay. Test mic. Here we go. Come on. There it is. Okay, all right. Turning down the labs. Turning up the test mic. Check. Check. Oh, we have signal. This
Yeah,
one
you
is
got sound.
working. All right.
Sounds good.
How about that? You know, yeah, it's working. Great. I'm just fascinated with how these mics still work, and they're almost 100 years old, you know. It's crazy. It's a technology that just it works. Oh, there's that. You're going to show them that one?
I don't know. We have another mic we were looking at, and this is a prototype, some kind of early prototype.
Ribbon.
If it went into production, they sure didn't make a lot, because we've never seen another one. We don't know anybody who knows much about this line. And we call it the RCA Super Ribbon just because of the size of it, the size and the weight of it. Sylvia scampered over to go pull it off the shelf. Oh, there she comes. She's going to walk around and show us this mic.
Look at that
Yeah, let's get over to it then.
giant thing. Oh,
Girls like big
oh,
mics.
I like mics.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Plug that one in.
I'll try it. Yeah, this mic was supposed to have an extended low end. So more so than most ribbons. So let's see what we got for this one. And I have heard this one before and it's fantastic.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Plug her in.
Okay, here we go. Okay, lavalier down, test mic up.
Hello. Hello. How's that extended low end? Is it good?
Awesome.
It
Yeah,
is
it's very
good,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I want to use this one. I'll sing into this mic. Hello.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Fantastic.
What happens
You're
now?
getting a lot of wows and awesomes and cools and groovies in the comments.
Oh, wow.
Huge low end. Oh, excellent.
The
No
BK5 was the preferred kick drum mic at,
What? Someone says something about BK5 kick drum mic?
yeah, it was
We
right
got to
there.
read that.
The BK5 was the preferred kick drum mic at Sigma Sound in Philly. if you
Oh,
can
no
believe it.
kidding.
I can believe that.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go.
Well, what's next, Johnson?
We could talk about more mics, I guess. Like
Okay. Do we have
maybe-
any other types of mics to talk about?
How about crystals?
Oh,
Yeah. Crystal mics were really the invention of this guy, or these guys, the Brush family, the little microphone mafia. Look at that house they lived in.
yeah. He made a bunch of money from lamps. What were they? Arc lamps.
He made arc lamps?
Yeah, I think he was an inventor of arc lamp or something. So he had a lot of money, and just for fun, he and his son
Had a microphone
played
little
around with
laboratory in their basement,
piezoelectricity.
which is pretty impressive. How did I cut out of the camera? Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's two of us too. All right. So the thing about crystal mics is that they are made of crystal, just like you see in the Petri dish here. And it's sliced up and harnessed and turned into a microphone. And the deal here is that when you talk into a piece of crystal, it actually generates a little bit of electricity. It's known as the piezoelectric effect. And that's kind of how a crystal mic works. It takes advantage of that. And so in order to make a crystal mic out of a piece of crystal like I have in my hand here, this is actually
Salt crystal.
yeah,
Rochelle salt.
yeah, this is Rochelle salt, which is what's used in a crystal microphone. And so it's sliced against the bias in a very specific way and wired up. And you can turn it into a microphone. What are you doing there?
It's making us do something.
And so this is unfortunately what seems to happen to crystal microphones, is that they deteriorate over time. And there's a dead crystal microphone. And so when these microphones were first made way back in the day, they probably weren't thinking ahead to what was going to happen 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road. But the reality is that this crystal will absorb moisture, and the moisture will cause the microphone to deteriorate and probably not work. So if you buy a used crystal microphone at a flea market or something, it's probably best to plan on it not working. And if it does, it's a happy accident.
I have some things to say about this.
Would you?
Yeah. All right. So here's a crystal mic. This is a Shure. Which is the model of this one? It's a Shure. Well, I forget which model it is. I have to get my glasses to look. But do you remember this? Do you remember this is my very first Valentine's
I gave you
gift.
that microphone.
This was my Valentine's Day gift
Did it work?
from Chris to me. I tried it today. It doesn't work.
What does that tell you?
Well, there you go. It's very pretty though.
Thought counted.
And sometimes the crystal mics are worth having just for the way they look, because there's
Absolutely.
some unbelievable designs. Well, there's some very popular crystal mics too. I'll show you a few more. This one, this is probably the most common crystal mic that you'll still find today, and it's the bullet, right? It's the harmonica mic, right? This one I tried today also does not work.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have any crystal mics that work here?
I found one, and it was this. This was the reissue by Hohner of that astatic crystal mic, the JT20. But this is the Hohner's version of that, and it's a relatively new mic actually. It's the same casting, and it's a crystal as far as I know. So let's see if this one works. I think this one will work.
That should work.
Well, I hope so. And now I'm going to turn down the lavaliers and turn.
Test mic. Do we have anything? Yes, we do.
Yeah, we
Okay.
sounds like a
Well,
crystal mic.
We do have a crystal mic, but yeah. Does it sound like a crystal mic? Crystal
Yeah.
mics also have a narrower frequency range too, but they're fun and they're easy because they generate a signal, so you don't really have to have power.
Awesome.
Okay, good. Good.
Well, that's it for the show and tell, I believe.
That's most of our show and tell.
Yeah.
Although we can pull down any mics that you want and test them.
Maybe people have questions or.
Yeah, so
what should we do now?
Well, I think we should ask if anybody has questions or would like to ask anything specific or see anything specific from the museum.
Somebody asked what the model number on your Super Mother of ribbon microphones, the big one that was super warm.
Let me check.
Yeah, that might be a tough one.
I think it's just called the super ribbon that the
Yeah.
word was. Let me just
Yeah, a lot of times for the real vintage mics or the rare ones, there's no identification on it, no model number, no serial number, no markings, just a straight up microphone.
You can look it up on the.
Sylvia seems to be off mic right now.
You're off mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm unable to find a model number on that. I think that was just called the super ribbon.
And
I
then
think your lavalier is still off. Lav's still
Lavalier
off.
still off?
Yeah, we're hearing room more than lav.
Oh.
here, use mine.
Well, how about you stay there, and I'm gonna just go with the. I get to pick my own. I'm gonna use my.
Pick a mic.
I know. You talk for a minute.
Me talk for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. Marcus Buick asks, any special Kohl's ribbons?
Got no coal.
We have no Kohl's ribbons, Marcus. I don't know who paid you to ask that question, but completely not fair. What is the reason that crystals don't tend to do well with low frequency reproduction? They tend to do well with speech. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I would suspect that they just don't have the frequency range at all. Like, it's just a miracle of nature that they work at all.
Maybe there's someone else that knows.
Ah, this guy writes, Rick Chin, who does know everything,
Yes.
says crystal microphones are very high impedance and need an active direct box or high impedance input to a tube amplifier to work well. They don't need to sound like a CD microphone. Interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Now I'm back on here, but I'm using the dynamic. Hello.
Milton Foster, another plant, says any special ambisonic mics.
No. Well, we have the Zelia.
The Xylia?
Xylia.
Is that an ambisonic?
It could be. No, we have no particular special. Do we have any three dimension? Some like three. Well, we got the Atmos room here.
Yeah, but what is ambisonic? Is that a brand?
It's kind of a similar kind of thing. Ambisonics.
Milton Foster, I'm not sure that we have any ambisonic mics here.
Mm-mm. Thanks, Milton.
Thanks, Milton. Yes, the Xylia is a higher order of ambisonic mics.
Okay,
Milton,
good.
we do have ambisonic
Yes,
mics
we
here.
do.
Yeah, 'cause
We have the Xylia.
we have the
Xylia.
Xylia
Xylia.
sphere.
Xylia sphere. It's cool.
Do you have any Russian mics? Oh, do we have Russian mics? Sylvia,
I'll go grab
can you show some Russian
the,
mics out?
especially the Russian mic that we just got this last week.
We just had a mic come in from Ukraine just a few days ago, a beautiful Lomo. So then I'm going to put you on the float mic. Oh, she's over there running around. Coming back? She's coming back.
I'm here.
So this microphone is a Lomo.
It's a dual capsule.
Yeah, this appears to be, I took it apart quickly. I didn't really get into it, but took the cover off, and it has a capsule up here and then another capsule right down here.
With some vents in this area.
Yeah, this is only venting these 4 vents here that go around. Yeah. So this is some kind of ambient room mic.
Yeah, no, this is a high quality recording mic. But it's I don't understand what the dual capsule, what the reasoning for the dual capsule is. Maybe someone, Rick, do you know why or what use the dual capsule would be for? Rick, come on, Rick.
And then show them that nuclear power plant mic too. That's Russian, the one in the
Oh yeah, hang on.
We have a pretty cool, real unusual Russian mic that Sylvia will run over and get right now.
Chris, you're sounding a little roomy too. I'm not sure your lavalier is working.
It's that guy.
Oh, Sylvia's got a 618 cranked up right next to me.
See, I'm not Rick, but that looks an awful lot like a AKG D224 knockoff or something similar. Had two capsules for reduced.
Oh, it could very well be.
Oh.
Yeah, it could very well be that this was a knockoff of something American, something Western.
Well, that would be nice if it was a stereo tube mic, but I think it's
I could be totally wrong, but that's what it brings to mind.
yeah. Here's that other weird mic.
We call this the Chernobyl mic, and this came out of some facility in Russia, and it looks like it came out of a nuclear power plant or something. Like, look at the buttons and knobs on this thing.
I think you need to switch your camera back.
Oh, sorry.
What did you do?
We're
Johnson.
Thanks,
oh, that's awesome looking.
Yes, this is a crazy looking mic that was meant to sit on a desk or a console.
Look at that.
Yeah, and you can see this is the real deal Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fascinating with the knobs. What? Oh no! Now we
What did you
started
do?
a nuclear war apparently.
I mean, here's another one.
And this also has a nice little nut gauge right here, which we especially love.
Now this is a ribbon. This is very nice.
This is a Russian ribbon. That's
Russian ribbon. This is an octava. What is that second letter?
MU.
MN.
MU.
MU.
MU15. Yeah, they do it different. Plug it in. Let's see how it sounds.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Might as well.
Cams are backwards. Oh, that sounds about right.
Just your main camera, the one that's on you guys right now. So
I gotta.
we need it.
Oh, people are writing nice things over here.
Are they?
Yeah, I should read them. Could Sylvia use the RCA brick mic instead of this one? It doesn't sound as good. The 618 as compared to
like the big.
You're correct. It doesn't sound as good.
Okay, I'll do that. But first, we're gonna listen to this Russian.
I love how you guys are willing to try anything.
All right, let's try this one now.
Check. Oh, there's the Russian ribbon. That's nice. It's a.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Is it hot? Well, that's all right. Check. Hi.
Not much better. Sounds great.
Is it? I remember this one is like a little dull sounding, dark, little, but
Yeah, decent. All right.
How many mics does one woman need? All of them. This one's dark like the Russian winter, says Lawrence. All right. Reminiscent of a TLM 193.
Oh.
Very dark, not much high end, says Dan Mortensen.
I'm back on the super ribbon.
Checkity check, check. How's that?
The color, Greg Dixon asked, what color is that? It looks green. And you are correct, Greg. It's we call it the pistachio, and it's kind of this unusual pistachio green gloss paint on it, on the body, and then on the screen itself with kind of, looks like it's outfitted with a brass.
It is pistachio.
That's true, but that's a bona fide pistachio color. And this mic is in great condition. I thought it might be just like a recent knockoff, and then Sylvia claims this is from the 60s. So this would have been very, very cutting edge for a color at that time.
So what someone's asking about the ball and biscuit.
Arthur Strapa asked, you have a Western Electric 630 ball and biscuit dynamic. Arthur, we love you, and yes, we do.
Yes. This one I love.
We also have the STC equivalent.
Yes, STC branded. And I could try this one. We could listen to it.
Do it.
Okay, I'm going to try this one.
Well, it looks like, Arthur, we're going to get to hear this mic as well. So we're plugging it in right now.
Hello, how's that? Not a lot of signal. Do we have a signal? Something?
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
Sounds
really
good. You know, I actually took this this very mic to a session at, where was I? Abbey Road?
No, we were down at Capitol Studio.
Was it? No, East West.
East West. Yeah.
East West? No, I was in Mexico. That's right. I took it and used it on a session just in September. I used it on a guitar speaker cab in combination with a 57. And this added a kind of a darker, warmer sound, which I typically would get with like a Sennheiser 421. So the Ball and Biscuit Dynamic today is a great mic still. It's a great production mic. And that seems to be the funnest part about having this museum. There's a responsibility in maintaining it and curating it and knowing about it. But I also get to try them as production mics, like find new production mics, which is the biggest thrill of all. I don't want to hurt any of these mics, and I won't, unless they're bad. But then, yeah, like this, I would have never thought to use a 630 on a guitar, 630A on a guitar cab, but to have one available and then bring it in, and it's just.
Well, Dan asked, is that a dynamic or condenser? And I know the
Dynamic.
answer. That's a dynamic.
That is a dynamic.
And is it omnidirectional or cardioid?
Yeah, it's omnidirectional.
I thought so.
And then David McKenna points out that if we have a 2 to 3 pin reverse, sometimes those overseas mics are wired with pin 3 hot. Really shift the sound. So
really,
yeah, that's something we do have, although we haven't really dug into that. David has been too busy with getting the collection organized.
Yeah.
And Arthur asked, do we have any Altec 633 salt shakers? I think we have many of those.
Yes.
Actually.
Where are they? Are they over on the other side?
Back, yeah.
They're on the other side.
So so everybody you can see this wall of mics, the shrine as we call it, and you think, wow, that's a lot of microphones.
That's like,
and that's just a small portion of the overall collection.
No, it's less than a tenth.
Is it a tenth?
Not even.
I think it's more, but it's a portion of the overall collection. Just because the studio must remain open, we keep most of the mics in the other part of the building. So we have another
Yeah, and someday
1,000.
we'll have the whole place wired up so that we can take you through the whole building and show you all the mics because, seriously, there's so much.
Edie LaFlame, might be a D, asked everyone, is there anything specific you don't have but wish you did?
Oh,
and
yeah.
why? And the
Yeah.
answer, 80, a D, is yes. And the microphone that I can't get is called a Skinderviken.
Oh, the Skinderviken. Yeah.
Skinderviken.
Yes.
And this is a little carbon button, a little miniaturized carbon button that was made in the 1920s. It was a boutique thing, and apparently the company made a few and just went out of business. But I'm dying to see it because they had the most brilliant advertising.
Yeah, we love the ads. We can't find the actual mic. We don't have an actual mic, but okay, Skinderviken, yes.
That's
but
for me. I'm
what
weird.
I really, really
right.
am missing is 3 M50 Neumanns.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, and then at least one M49A. And then the Telefunken Elam 251 also would be nice. I'll probably be waiting for that for a long time.
Yeah, let me buy a space rocket when you're done with that. Okay, let's see. Any Marcus Buick asks, any Alltech Lansing Coke bottles? Yes, we do. In fact, we have the whole history of those.
I'll go grab some.
Let me go get some. You talk.
Okay. Okay, I'm talking in here.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have a lavalier because my battery died. How about that? Anyway.
Hey, Sylvia, somebody asked about the gramophone looking thing behind you on the shelf. Is that is that a microphone?
That is a microphone. I think it's a Magnavox. We have several of those types of mics too. Yeah, they're like acoustic that connects to a needle that vibrates, and very ancient, very old technology.
Cool.
Very early microphone. Yeah. Let's see what other questions we have. Mic modelers to the collection. You know what? The great thing is that we do have mic modelers. I was very interested in getting involved in the mic modeling right away when the first Townsend and then Slate. Now I've got the Antelope collection, the Edge, and those for overheads. You can continue to change the model throughout your entire mix all the way to the end. It makes it a little bit too many choices for me. So I have to make up my mind at some point. That's kind of why I like having the microphones themselves, because each one has a different character, offers something else to the recording. Whereas, you're just kind of flipping a switch when you're listening to those modelers. But the modelers are good too. If you don't want all the vintage mics, but you like the sound of the vintage mics, then getting a mic modeler is the way to get the best of everything, I guess. What else can we talk about? Let's see. I'm looking at the stuff. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, let's read some comments.
Well, here, sit on in there.
Oh, okay.
What did you get? Did you find something?
Well, I brought over these Alltechs.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody is writing, oh man, these people are writing all kinds of comments here. So
They want Sylvia to talk into the back of that microphone.
Oh, okay, let's try. Okay, here's the front. Okay, I'm going to turn down his lav so we're not getting any extra
people in hell
things here. Check. Okay, here's the front, and now I'm turning it into the back. Can you still hear my voice? Yes, check. Yes, I see that we still have a pretty good signal no matter where I'm talking into it.
Omni?
Yeah, this is Omni. Yellow. There it is. Pretty interesting, huh?
Cool. Yeah, very.
Good question.
Any Japanese mics? Somebody just asked.
Japanese mics.
Oh, which ones can I show?
Also, if anyone's curious, that's our studio.
Oh, I've got a really
Our
good one.
studio dog down there. He's up from her nap. And then,
Here, I'm gonna grab the Toshiba.
Sylvia's going to run off and grab a Toshiba microphone, but yes, we have a lot of great Japanese mics, and some of my own favorites are the really cheap Japanese knockoffs from the 60s and 70s, and they have these kind of fake brand names like the Olsons.
Chris, your
Chris,
mic is
your
not on.
mic's off, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God, that's my fault.
Does anybody know a sound engineer over there?
Gee, sorry, here you go.
What I'm talking? Oh,
I turned down your laugh.
sorry. I was talking anyway. The Japanese mics. Yes, we have a bunch. We love them. This mic that she just broke out. This is special.
This mic is, this one works.
All right, let's see what Sylvia Massy is about to do.
Oh, this is a Japanese mic.
A little dark down there, but
Okay, let's see what we got. Oh. Yep.
here,
Here, you want to hold that one?
Cheryl, hold it for you.
There you go. Oh my God, this is heavy. It's just like a 44. Could this possibly be a 44 just rebadged?
That's what I want to know.
Here we go. This is a Toshiba, and the model is the 172.
That is not an RC mic.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, look at the whole size of the holes.
Yeah, this is 1953 too.
Okay, right. It does have the same kind of metal, though, it seems.
So Sylvia pulled this Toshiba. What model is this thing?
It
in
says
Japanese.
172, I believe.
Oh, it's a 172. And then this is a pretty good knockoff of a 44. This mic is heavy. I think it weighs something over 10 pounds. It has to. It's a big old heavy thing. It's in beautiful condition, and it's very well made too. All the castings are nice and clean. The finish work is beautiful.
Is this the same metal work? I mean, if you
Nope.
look really carefully.
Nope.
Look at that, though.
This has bigger holes
Oh,
in
you're
it.
right. It does have bigger
And
holes.
this is enameled.
Okay, pull that up.
Different type of paint finish.
Yeah.
It's just a little different boy, but it is very similar.
And it's the same type of weight, too, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what's great about these two microphones? You could sell them and have a new Tesla.
Maybe not so much, but.
Well, I think you could. Something. You'd be getting
Yeah.
close anyway, maybe.
Get,
Anyway, this is the All-Tech Coke bottle mic that someone asked about in a minute. And it's a very unusual. This is a condenser microphone. Sylvia,
Oh,
you
yeah.
show them.
I love this, yeah. These Altex are such high quality mics for recording. And they're just underrated, like people don't understand like how good these are. So I'm looking forward, these, we have 3 of them, and they all have some noise problems, so I'm not using them yet, but I'm gonna make
Are
sure
those noisy?
they are. noisy.
Oh.
But we'll fix it.
Okay.
We're not hearing you
by the
as
way,
well,
this-
Sylvia.
The bass, huh? Oh, I don't have a mic.
Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, that sounds much better.
You're talking to the mic.
Okay, but look at this.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Here,
get
you
this.
do this.
No, it's not gonna work. I won't force it. Don't force.
I thought it would come right out, but it doesn't. So let's not
What
force
this
it.
was a pop-out.
Anyway, it's a nice little bass that you use when you're recording an orchestra or something. You just set that right on the floor in the middle of the room.
Here it is.
Yeah, there it
The
is.
Coke bottle. And look at the connector on that. thing.
Yeah.
A lot of connections.
That's a mic that Bruce Swedien used for a stand-up bass, string bass.
Stand up
Wedged
bass.
it into the bridge, yeah.
No kidding.
Ah, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the great thing about that system, these Coke, they're called Coke bottles, nicknamed Coke bottles, but it's the body is the 150, and then the capsules. There were several. There's an Omni, there's cardioid, but the Omni is I think the 21D.
So that's the whole capsule there. It's that small.
Yeah, watch your finger goop.
Yeah, I know. You don't want a guy like me touching your microphones.
Booping up. Nice.
Somebody asked what your smallest mic is.
Oh, I have it. I'll go get it. Hang on. I'm so glad you asked.
She ran off.
It's like every question is a setup for you, Sylvia. It's like,
Where are you going?
I'm just gonna go grab it right here. I hope I can put my hand on it right away.
And
Sylvia-
somebody asked about Sony ECM 51s.
ECM 51.
That's the Bob Barker one.
Oh, you know, I think we have one, but it's might be stashed away right now.
There it is.
Sylvia's run across the room. She's racing back. Oh, I have a smaller mic than that out back.
You do?
Yeah, you talk into this.
What mic do you have that's smaller than this?
I'll show you.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I get to show my mic. And actually, this is not a vintage mic. It's new. But it's from Microtech Gefell. Microtech. And they make some very precision instrument microphones. And this is one of them. I went to visit their factory in Gefell in Germany. And I was so intrigued by this little mic that I bought one. And let me see if I could put it together here before showing it to you. Oh, boy. Hang on. And Chris has something else he wants to bring. Let's see. Where are we? Here we are. Little teeny weeny little microphone. So cute. Here it is. Oh, it even has its own stand. I'll get the stand out. Hang on. Little stand. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. And here's the little stand. Okay, now I get to
that's a tiny mic.
This is a little tiny mic. Isn't that
How does
great?
it sound? It's awesome.
How's it sound? I have used it. I used it on guitar. And it was okay, you know. Yeah, sure. It works. Look at how tiny. It's just a little tiny thing. See?
Yeah, I have a small one, but I can't find it.
Uh-huh, sure.
Well, it's really small. It's not like it's a big thing.
Oh, so it gets lost easy?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I see. Well, anyway, what is the model of this? Let's see what the model is. It is the M372 Microtech Gefell mic.
Fantastic.
Right.
German.
Somebody asked if you ever got the World War II tank director mic up and running.
Oh, you know about that from last time, huh?
Which one is that?
That's the tank mic. You took it in the other room now. You know, the big one that you carry.
Oh, the subsonic.
Yeah, you want to go grab it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to go grab it because it's so cool looking. If you didn't see it last time, we have not got it up and running yet, but this is an intention of mine, is to do some recording with this. My understanding is that this is a mic that you would set on the ground. It's a military mic, and that the vibrations, the low frequency vibrations that it would pick up would tell you if a tank patrol was coming your way. Here it is.
That's cool.
Here comes Johnson. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you open it up and show the inside?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Let's show 'em the front
Here,
first.
I'm going to go move out of your way.
So this is a military microphone. It's a big metallic canister. You can see it says microphone T-21B from the Army Signal Corps. And then, whoa.
Ooh,
Shit.
watch out. Let's see if I can get this camera.
And so if you pull it out, I mean, you can see
There it is.
oh man, that thing just smells like a,
Ooh.
smells like a vintage dream.
Mm.
And it has some kind of custom power tube amp in it and a big battery in the bottom, a big element.
Yeah.
So this is definitely some kind of very specialty subsonic mic. We have been unable to find any information about this mic.
You know, it probably is in the archive, the library, but we just haven't found it yet. I mean, there's so much to go through, and we still
So-
have years to go.
So this would be very rare, among the rarest of the rare.
Yeah, cool.
And just keep it locked up like that.
Somebody mentioned that the letters are backwards, and we know that. but this is not a good time to change that. So
Yeah, it's
we,
kind of
we've
too
noted
late
it.
now. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Oh, so when you
Okay.
show them a close up, then it's all backwards.
That's all. It's all right though. It's not a big deal.
Air
So
mic.
yeah, that's a cool mic.
Well, we still gotta work out some bugs in our
Yeah, we don't do a lot of presentations these days. It's just
Mm.
just because we love AES that we even decided to do this at all.
Yeah. Well, we
Good
would
response.
we love doing the presentations actually.
Yeah, can you show us the old carbon mic in a wooden box with a carbon rod inside?
Oh my God, yes. He's gonna go get it.
I'll get it.
Yeah, that one's a super good one.
Sylvia mentioned last year when she did part 1 of this, and I just put the link to that in the chat because it was awesome too.
Oh, there it is.
So this microphone, Joe Carter asks about, and this is a little wooden box, which you can see. And then inside the wooden box is a carbon pencil.
And this is actual David Edward Hughes.
As far as we know, this one is very interesting in that can't really see it on here, but there's a carbon pencil inside, and on the pencil in very fine engraving is stamped EG. And there was a early microphone inventor named Elijah Gray. And we suspect that this might have belonged to Elijah Gray, but we have no way to prove that. If this was Elijah Gray's, then this would be an extraordinary piece to own.
Bob does have some Elijah Gray.
We have other
paraphernalia.
things, books signed by Elijah Gray, books by Elijah Gray that were signed by Elijah Gray.
Mm.
But earlier at the beginning, I was talking about the very earliest microphone, and this was the idea that voltage would be run from one end of this carbon rod to the other, and all you had to do is shout in there, and it would alter the voltage enough that you could capture it and amplify it and turn it into sound.
And it still works. I mean, I've used
Yeah.
this on a session. I had to try it, you know. So you have to give it a charge with a 6-volt battery, but it worked. I mean, it didn't sound that great, but what do you expect for a burnt stick?
You did that for a session at East West, and the engineer
Mhm.
just jumped right up and knew what to do.
Yeah.
Someone asked about the model number of the tank mic. I'm
Mm.
going to read that off to you here,
Since it's
Mac
backwards.
Perkins.
Mhm.
And so it says microphone T-21-B. And that's all we know. It's a signal core, and it was made by the Allen D. Caldwell Manufacturing Corporation.
Fantastic.
And so that's all we really know.
We would like to learn anything about this.
Yeah,
If anyone out
knows.
there knows anything about this unusual microphone, let us know.
This is heavy too. This is a solid 20 or 30 pounds.
Mm.
It's a big, heavy mic.
Yeah.
Unlike this little guy.
A little tiny.
It's a little bantamweight.
Yeah.
So signal core.
T21.
Yeah. Thanks, Lawrence. How many mics do you have that are basically a speaker reversed? It would have to be dozens or even hundreds, I would think, because theoretically all the dynamics are
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, and we just have so many of those.
Mhm.
So it would be a really large number. It would be hard to figure out exactly how many. Yeah, Alex George confirms any dynamic microphone amounts to a reversed loudspeaker.
Mhm.
Oh, Rick Chin comments.
Rick Chin.
Rick knows everything.
Where's Rick? Oh, yes.
So maybe we should open it up for questions or something.
Yeah, more questions. If you've got anything to talk about, let's talk. So I'm gonna move over here.
How many mics are in your collection?
I think there's about 2,500.
Yeah, I know of about 3,200 different microphone model numbers, and then we have something like 2,300 of them here.
And then I had my own.
Yeah, when we put the collections together, Sylvia had darn close to 1,000 microphones already. And then there's the thing about microphones, though, the different categories. And the way we like to think of it is that there are production mics and there are vintage mics. And then
Historic mics.
yeah, historic mics. And not all historic mics are production mics, but they can be. Many historic mics still work just as well today as they did 70 years ago in some cases. But very few production mics are in reality historic vintage mics. You know, most of them are more modern, I think.
Hmm.
Things like the Mojaves and other things
Oh,
that we
yeah.
actually would use every day in the studio.
Yeah.
Not so much. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. We're writing a book about it now still, and then it'll probably turn into several books, just maybe an encyclopedia edition. Just to the point, if you just had a picture of 4 microphones and a page, you know, it'd still be a large book. You could have almost 1,000 pages, 800 pages without trying too hard.
Someone asked about the connectors to go with these vintage mics, and we have to
Yeah.
say, yeah, that seems to be one of the biggest challenges. Is
That's the
actually,
biggest challenge.
well, it is because these some of these connectors just don't exist, and I don't really want to modify if we don't have to. You
I'm
know,
thinking of to like pull one out that's got a really weird connector just to show that off.
yeah, well, any of
Any of them.
the big RCAs
Here,
or
would-
the Western Electric, the condensers. Oh, here we go. Chris is bringing a very unique looking condenser.
So this is a condenser microphone, and we generically call these style of microphones periscopes. And it's the classic kind of thing where you can see the element. And in this can, from what we learned earlier, you know, there's going to be a tube amplifier of some kind. And it would be fascinating to fire this mic up, but first we'd have to figure out exactly what it is.
This too. Look at that
Yeah,
connector.
and look at this connector. You know,
Yeah.
what are you going to plug that into? Exactly.
Right.
And so it can be done, but to wire this up, maybe we'd have to take the end off and rewire it into something more modern.
And plus, it's the mic preamplifier that would go into a mic preamplifier.
This would go into a preamp, yes.
Mhm. Interesting story just happened today is that we were selling some items out of the collection. The way we're financing keeping the microphone collection is that other parts of Bob Paquette's museum are being sold off, and that he had a great deal of vintage radios, and so the radio stuff, that's all being sold off for the most part. And part of that was an attenuation panel from a radio station, an RCA attenuator panel that was listed. I listed it on our the audio shop website for sale, and someone bought it. But it turned out that one of the units, one of the parts of this unit, this attenuator, turned out to be a dual mic preamplifier. I didn't even know it. Chris found it today. This an RCA 41B mic preamplifier. Holy cow! Finding that was like gold today. Finding that thing. Gold.
How old is that?
Gosh, well, 40s, 30s, 40s, 30s. Anyway,
Early 30s.
finding the mic preamplifiers that fit with these
fit.
mics.
It's a project.
It's a project, but we do have a lot of interesting mic preamplifiers to use when it's time to really get into it. We've got Opera Radio,
RCAs, Western
Collins,
Electric,
RCA. Yeah, you can see the Remlers. There's all kinds of interesting vintage mic pre's that we're still collecting, and then there will be a time, there will be future microphone presentations where we really get into like using the original mic pre's and everything, and we'll crank up the super old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
We have a question and a comment. One of the comments is that Dave McKenna said that the connector on that last mic looks like a Leslie connector, Leslie's cabinet speaker connector.
It's similar.
but
Yeah.
not quite. We have a
Similar.
Leslie.
Yeah, we
so-
have a Leslie's too, but there are mics that have that same Leslie connector, but
Yeah.
that's a different mic.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Yeah, it seemed like they were using a lot of military connectors, kind of just whatever they could find during wartime anyway.
All right,
This
great.
is
And then
interesting.
there was a question if you're going to have multimedia in your vintage mic book, if you're going to show how these sound in your book, or just tell about
How
them?
you do that in a book? But
Well, the website.
oh, the website will.
We will have an extensive website because there's so many more mics than can actually fit in this book. We're only picking 600 mics. So
Mm.
that's part of the it can't be done thing. It's like, how do you pick 600 mics?
I mean, yeah.
Are these the most important mics? Are they the best mics? You know, how do you choose? You know, are they the worst mics? Are they, you know, failures? Those, you know, these are the questions. But yeah, so for the website, we intend on having as much information as possible. So it'll go way beyond the book, but book comes first.
But so that's sylviamassy.com. That's the
I'm not
Live
sure
for
where it
Yeah,
will
I'm not
live
sure
yet.
where we're gonna put it.
It
yeah.
may be audioshop.com.
We might flip it
Oh.
away from Sylvia's name.
Yeah, and the
Possible.
audio shop is spelled ODDIO.
Oh, you're so good with words.
Well, I suppose you'll have a link to that from sylviamassy.com at least, right?
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. You could
All
go
right.
to sylviamassy.com and you'll wind up getting to the microphone database somehow. Yeah.
Well, I see that Stephen DeVore asked the question. There was a book called, I think, Vintage Microphones, which I think was like photocopies versus a professionally printed book.
Oh, yeah.
And I decided to buy a copy of it. The collection of vintage mics among the materials seemed impressive.
That is the Paquette book.
And so I think that was the book was Bob Paquette's book, and he was the world's most prolific microphone collector, the world's best microphone collector by far. And he really wanted to do a good book, but he didn't know how to do it. And so he did end up publishing his book, but it was, like you said, almost a collection of photocopies versus a professionally laid out book. And as part of us continuing Bob's legacy, we intend to fulfill that.
And
and-
finish that book.
Yeah, write the book that he would be proud of,
Yeah.
you know, using his collection. And so if I'm sure we're talking about the same book here, and yes, there's absolutely Bob's collection is featured throughout the book.
And his writings will be absolutely credited
Yeah,
in the
his
new book.
yeah, it's critical. Like when we, you know, made the contract to write the book, we didn't realize how deep it was. And in essence, we're not really worried about someone else doing it because you need a collection like this to really seriously approach it, in my opinion. You think no? Yes.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So
Sure.
good question, Stephen. You know.
Gary Louie posted a link to your guys' shop on
Ah,
Sylvia Massy.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Marcus-
And it's Christmas. Be sure and get your book.
Marcus Buick asks, any realistic mics in your collection? And the answer is, why, yes, we have a lot of realistic mics, and we have a
Yes.
whole section of tape recorder mics of that ilk,
Yes.
little kind of consumer rated microphones for like home hobbyists and tape recorders and stuff.
Yeah, that's important stuff for the book too. You know,
Yeah,
the book won't be all the high, you know, the high flyers. It'll have, you know, mics that we use every day.
Yeah, that's the absolutely right. Yeah, it's not so much about these super expensive. There's a collection at Blackbird.
Oh,
which is-
super. Oh,
yeah,
what a
which is
great
John
collection.
McBride's
Wow.
collection, and I've not seen it, but you hear the stories about this is an impressive collection, and they say, wow, he's got 80 or 100 Telefunkins of one brand, and that's amazing for production mics. But we're more interested in the history at this
Yeah,
point.
this is.
And so
I
it's-
wouldn't mind to have one all those telephones.
Either would I. Either would I. But we're kind of doing something a little bit different where we're so fascinated with the history of it. It's more than just having the most toys. It's so much of it is really just
It's the
understanding.
history, and then it's actually using them too. I'm
Yeah.
so excited about that.
Yeah.
To be able to use a mic from 1878. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, someone put a link.
And you guys have mics that are prototypes that were never released too, correct?
Yeah, we have some fascinating ones. Probably one of the
Oh,
most interesting examples. We can't really get
can I
it down right
that
now.
the glow discharge?
Oh yeah, break that. Yeah,
Oh, I'll
that's
bring
right
that.
there.
I'm gonna sit this down.
And so one thing that we have is a prototype, well, for a Harry Olson double ribbon. That's just a beautiful. Sylvia could probably show that since she's over there. Can you hold the camera up to that? Put a camera on it. You put a second here. And then Sylvia's ramping. She's wandering around the museum right now.
There it is up there.
Up top, you can see in the middle, there's a section of rings right below. In the middle is a one mic that's kind of a long golden box. And that's actually a double ribbon. There's two ribbon microphones in there facing opposite directions. And it was an experimental Harry Olsen mic for soundstage. To the left of that, you see the pair of Shure SM somethings. Those were actually presidential mics. Those were used by Barack Obama when he was president. Those exact mics, not mics like them. Those exact ones.
There is a 57.
There are 57s. Yeah. So, and then up top are the old rings and a lot of other interesting stuff. Mhm. So somebody grab that glow discharge, if you would. She's rocking around over there. So we also have a lot of very kind of random prototypes that aren't so notorious as, say, a Harry Olsen ribbon. And these are handmade condensers from the 30s and 40s. Keep in mind, in that era, ham radio, home operators of radio was a huge deal. And these were the kind of guys who made their own equipment, since a lot of it wasn't commercially available. And so we have many examples of that kind of prototype that are fascinating. And the way I think of it is that a microphone really isn't all that vintage until it has wooden parts in it.
Okay, well, I don't have a mic, so my mic is. Okay, here we go. Hi. This mic, and careful because it's swinging.
Yeah.
That is the Thomas
It's important that they see right into this.
glow discharge. Oh, there, yeah, you can see right through it. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a glow discharge transmitter. So this was a microphone that had a great deal of power
run through it.
And you can see this right here where the gap is between the two electrodes. Well, that is where a small bit of plasma would travel between the electrodes, and then your voice or whatever it is, the sound would vibrate that little bit of electric
plasma.
And that was how it would record or translate sound.
Tell them a story about that, Mike, how you met somebody who was talking about
What did it sound like though?
I have not heard it. I would imagine that it's I meant, well, there is an intention to rebuild that glow discharge at Princeton, and we've been talking about it. The pandemic got in the way, but we've been planning on doing the experiments to bring back and to make a much safer and newer glow discharge. Another problem with the original design is that it puts out ozone. So it creates a lot of ozone, which is fairly toxic. So, it's a toxic mic. We're going to try to get it so it's not poisonous anymore.
It's better if you don't poison the singer while you're recording.
Yeah.
It's better that way. Hey, somebody asked about the big double ribbon mic that was up on the shelf. Is it? They asked if it's a 4-leaf clover pattern, but is it like a bloom line, or is it? How do they use those double ribbons?
It's actually, they're pointed in two different directions and combined into one signal, but it's for people to be face to face talking into the mic from either side.
So it's just like a regular ribbon mic, but
yeah, it's like two ribbon mics that all just the signal just combines.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
I think we might have hit the end of our presentation.
I think that is the end of our presentation. I hope it's good.
It's so fantastic. Thank you, guys. I mean, I don't know if we're going to break into breakout rooms now or what, but I'm just, you can become a mic geek pretty easy. And you guys aren't helping the process much, because it's just, you see that stuff and it's compelling.
Try being me. I never thought this is how it would end, but I guess I'm happy.
Yeah, and we've been on talking about mics for a long time, and you guys have been so patient, and thank you for sticking around through the whole presentation, Yeah, I mean, I'm all about this. I hope, Chris, you'll do it again sometime.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
you
We
will.
want to promote all these microphones
Yeah,
ongoing.
it's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, you guys. And I'm going to turn it back over to either Greg or Dan, I suppose, to let us know what we're doing next. But thanks a ton. It was fantastic. And you're getting all those comments in the comment thing, so everybody's loving it.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Sylvia and Chris. That was fantastic and really amazing. I wanted to share. I actually have a mic, an ML16, Sylvia, that's in this green kind of hue. That anyway, just thought it was kind of like a sister mic to what you've got over there.
Oh, we're brothers in microphone.
Yeah, pistachio.
We have that pistachio. Sylvia's scratching her head.
This is in very, very nice condition, which I'm happy to say. But yeah, that was fantastic. I always learn so much from these, so thank you, and I can't wait to check out the book and the website and everything. So
Thanks, Greg.
thank you so much.
It's
Yeah, thank
great.
you.
At this point in time, we're going to soon conclude the meeting, but I wanted to make a quick pitch to encourage folks, if you haven't joined the AES, to consider becoming a member. The AES is a great international organization, and they help us be able to create meetings like this and help also to extend our reach with membership all across the globe. And so thanks to the AES, and if you're interested in becoming a member, you can talk to me or any of the other committee members that are here with us tonight, and we can let you know more about it. At this point, I actually want to reach out to Rick Chin to say a few words about that. Rick is a long-standing member with the AES, and he has a few words to share.
Hi. Well, let's see. I'm a life member. That means that I'm old, and it means that I've been a member continuously for over 25 years. And I joined back in like 1970, and I joined as a result of a friend getting a copy of the journal and seeing an article from Bob Orban in it, as well as an article from I think it was one of the Gittleman brothers, who were founders of API, the console company. And these are all really interesting and not terribly technical, not so full of math that your eyes glass over. And I went, wow. So eventually I figured out how to join, and I admit I found the application a bit daunting, but I got past that. And so I've been a member ever since. And one of the big things to me is the AES e-library, which is a electronic collection of every article that's appeared in the Journal of the Audio Engineering Society. And this goes back to the late 40s. And back when the society was young, there were all kinds of different articles, some technical and some just promotion. And an example would be the Capitol Tower. When it was built, there was a couple of articles about it, and they went into some level of detail. Michael Rettinger, an acoustician, he was hired to design the echo chambers that reside in the parking lot. And there's an article in the journal about that. I'm trying to get headquarters to loosen up a few articles that we can use as bait. And that way you can see what's in the library. You can see to a degree what's in the library by going to the Society's website and finding the e-library, and then just searching for different topics or names, and you can see what's there.
There are a few more recent articles that where the society and the author have opened them up to general distribution, and they're not hidden behind a paywall or membership wall. So you could find those, and you might find those of interest. So with that, I'll give it back to Greg.
Thanks a lot, Rick. Appreciate your thoughts there. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and once again give a big round of applause to Sylvia and Chris for this awesome presentation tonight. Yay! Yay! All right. Woohoo!